Welcome to the Do Zone, where entrepreneurs go to get things done. I'm your host, Josh Thomas. You can find me on all social media at JT Literally. Each week, I bring on experts from a variety of backgrounds to share their secrets on how to optimize performance so you can take massive action and crush your goals. The Do Zone is sponsored by Conversational Funnels, the new way to close deals in 2025 that doesn't rely on any of the old traditional methods everyone hates. We use this method to book 121 qualified sales calls in 10 days without any ad spend, outreach, or endless social posting. Download the free step-by-step blueprint that shows exactly how we did it at conversationalfunnels.com. Once again, that's conversationalfunnels.com. Today's guest is James Hipkin. James is an accomplished, forward-thinking marketing professional with over 40 years of experience. His clients have included Sprint, Apple, Wells Fargo, Online Bank, Nestle, and Toyota. And today, James is passionate about websites and helping small and medium-sized businesses understand online marketing. James, welcome to the Do Zone. Tell us something you believe is the key to getting stuff done that most people wouldn't think of.
Hey, Josh. Thank you so much for having me on, and I'm looking forward to our conversation. Um, Simple is a hard word for a lot of folks. There's such a tendency to overcomplicate things, and digital marketing is very, very guilty of that. There are so many shiny things swirling around the digital marketing ecosystem. Um, how do you choose? Well, a principle that I learned very early in my career, it's an old direct marketing axiom that is as valid today as it was then. Get the right message to the right person at the right time.
Mm. A
If
lot of
you,
times it just has to do with the timing. You're not doing anything wrong. Your targeting is on point. Your messaging is on point. They're just not ready.
yep. However, if you think about the timing as not a binary situation, as in I'm ready or I'm not ready, the reality is that most consumers, B2B, B2C, doesn't matter, they have a journey that they go on. And if they're not in the market for whatever it is you're selling, it doesn't matter your point. It doesn't matter how effective your messaging is. They're just not going to see it because they're not in the market. It's part of the 6 to 10,000 marketing messages a day that the average consumer is exposed to. But if they are in the market, they're just getting into the market. Something has happened in their life or in their business that says, I need to think about this. They've realized that in the last 2 weeks they've forgotten to follow up with two potential leads. Maybe I need a CRM.
Hmm.
So, and then suddenly they're seeing all of the advertising for various CRMs that was always there before, but they just didn't see it because they weren't in the market. But the messaging that's required at the top of the funnel, the kinds of questions they have, the kind of obstacles that they're trying to overcome are not going to be the same as the messaging in the mid funnel. Mid
Mhm.
funnel, they're into consider research mode. They're trying to consider what their options are. They're prospecting for a solution. These are very levels of interest and involvement in the buying process, and their questions and obstacles will evolve as they move through the funnel. Your messaging needs to evolve with them.
Hmm. Yeah,
That's the
makes a lot
get
of
the
sense.
right message to the right person at the right time.
And
And
speaking,
that
go ahead.
simple idea is what can really support a marketing. You talk about conversational funnels. I I would bet lunch someplace that a lot of what I'm talking about is mirrors exactly what you're doing with a conversational funnel.
Yep. And really, what a conversational funnel is it's just opening up the relationship so that you can be there with the right person
Mhm.
in the right place at the right time, because you can definitely meet the right person, but if
Mhm.
you don't meet them at the right time, there's no sale.
Right.
But so how do you solve that problem? Unless you have impeccably perfect timing, the best way to solve the timing problem is to always be there
Yes.
and wait for the time to be right.
And
Uh,
wait for the time and recognize that your goal with the marketing is in many ways to build a value and a trust relationship with folks. What the ultimate holy grail here is is not to make the sale. The ultimate holy grail here is that the purchase is the next logical step in their journey.
that's right.
Functionally, it's exactly the same thing. But
So
that
speaking
mindset
of,
shift is really important because when they're making the next logical step in their journey, they're going to be much more open to buying from you again, from buying more services from you, more products. That growth factor, how the marketing funnel and the sales funnel becomes a bow tie, right? The marketing funnel flows down to that purchase, and the sales funnel builds out from that purchase. That bow tie is amplified if the relationship is built in the process.
hmm. And so one of the things that we've got to do to make that even possible is we got to get their attention. And so
Mhm.
I know that you like to focus on how do we grab somebody's attention on a website fast? Like you only have seconds to get
Yep,
somebody's attention. So what are some ways that we can really grab their attention so that we can even do all of this other cool stuff?
sure. A very common problem that I see on websites is what I call inside out marketing. It's the business owner is standing on the roof of his building shouting at the world at large about how awesome they are, right? Nobody cares.
Nope.
One of the questions I'll ask a business owner is, what do you think the primary objective of your website is? And what usually happens is I get a litany of things that they want the website to do, and we'll have a quick discussion around the definition of the word primary. There can only be one. And then they'll settle in on conversion. That's almost always wrong.
Hmm.
The primary goal of the website is not conversion. Conversion will come, but the primary goal should be confirmation.
Hmm.
When somebody gets to your website, they're usually in the middle of their journey and they're prospecting, they're figuring out what they're going to do. They're looking for confirmation that you understand their problem, that you have a viable solution for their problem, and that solution is believable.
Hmm.
So if your hero section of the website is shouting at the world at large about you've been in business for 20 years and you're serving 600 countries and whatever else you might be doing, none of that helps them.
Mhm.
But if your website leads with the problem that they're trying to solve, maybe agitates that problem a little bit, the pass copywriting framework it's very well known and for a reason. It works. Lead with the problem, agitate the problem, then solve the problem. Then you're supporting the journey that your prospect is on. You're not interrupting what they're trying to accomplish. And that
No,
builds
that's right.
relationship and it builds trust.
That's right. And so leading with the problem is one of the primary things that, and really, here's the thing. It's so rare to see any website that does that. You almost second guess yourself.
Right.
Even when you know, even when you know and you've been told like, hey, this is definitely the way that we would do it, you second guess yourself because there's hundreds of thousands, millions of websites that are just like, hey, look at how awesome I am.
Yep.
You're like, well, I mean, is that working?
Yep. And there's all kinds of conventional wisdom. Like everybody throughout their entire business career have been told that they need a call to action. Okay, one
Mhm.
of my more controversial things is I want you to stop saying call to action and start saying pathway instead. If you start to create pathways for your key subsegments in your audience, and they select that pathway, two very important and powerful things have happened. They've told you exactly who they are, and they've given you permission to give them more information. Now, functionally, effectively, a pathway and a call to action are exactly the same thing. But a call to action is a marketer shouting at a customer and telling them what to do. People don't want to be shouted at, don't want to be told what to do, versus a pathway, which is inviting a prospect to follow down this pathway because this has been crafted specifically for you, and you will get the information that you are looking for to support the purchase decision that you need to make.
Hmm. All right.
I mean,
What a great shift, because it's a call to action. It really is like I see that when you say it. Somebody standing up on a box with a bullhorn saying, "Hey, y'all,
yep,
come over here."
yep, and do
Whereas
this.
I'm gonna, yeah, and do this.
Yep,
And instead I'm gonna open up this pathway for you so that you can get by.
right.
Much easier, much more accommodating.
Yeah. And it's that outside in perspective versus the inside out perspective. And it's also challenging conventional wisdom. When you think about it, like I said, call to action and a pathway are functionally exactly the same thing. But that mindset shift is really important because it turns your marketing funnel into a bow tie that's got some impact. Because when people make the purchase decision, they're making it for the right reasons, and they're going to be much more open to further messaging from you, further opportunities that you've got to make their lives easier.
James, tell us a little bit about what you do, who you help, and how they can connect with you.
Well, our ideal folks are high six-figure, low seven-figure businesses who've had some success, but they're ready to take their marketing to the next level. We build and design websites because they're the hub of a modern marketing system. They're where all of the information radiates out from and where consumers come back to. Content and messaging strategy is the rim that holds it all together. And that concept of bringing strategy into the mix is our USP. It's the thing that makes us different. Lots and lots of people can make websites. That's frankly not that hard. Understanding the strategy that's involved behind a well-crafted marketing campaign, that's a different thing. So if you're interested in talking to me about that, then go to vipchatwithjames.com and you can book some time on my calendar, and I'd love to chat with you about this stuff.
VIPchatwithjames.com.
vipchatwithjames.com.
Excellent. We're going to wrap from here. Thanks so much to our guest, James Hipkin, for joining us and sharing some wisdom about how he gets stuff done. You can connect with him directly by going to vipchatwithjames.com. Whether you're on your morning commute, in the gym, or somewhere out in the field, snap a selfie, tag me at JT Literally. Show me what you do while you're in the do zone. And one more time, if you want to stuff your calendar with qualified and motivated ideal clients who want what you have, download the Conversational Funnels Blueprint for free at conversationalfunnels.com. That's it. Let's get to work.
Hey, thanks for listening to the Do Zone podcast. If you're running a service-based business that's looking to grow this year, let's talk about how we can slingshot you into momentum with a quick injection of cash and sales. Our clients typically see results in as little as 7 days. To learn more about what we do, you could go to factor1.io. Once again, that's factor1.io. We'll see you next time.